Have you ever wondered what gear it takes to record music in your bedroom? Well, wonder no more. Today I'm going to show you all the gear I have in my bedroom studio and how I use it to make music. Hey, welcome back to Producer Diaries. It's been 3 weeks since I last saw you guys and I'm sorry for being away for so long. I had a great week away in France, and then when I came back, my mental health took a massive nosedive, so here we are. We are so back. I am so excited to be making videos and be making music again. So from here on out, we're not going to be missing another week again. For the rest of this year, if I miss even a single Monday upload, I will be doing some form of punishment, be it eat a chili or an ice bath or something like that. That means after today, there'll be at least 23 more videos coming your way before the end of 2026. If you want to, why not go down to the comments and leave some punishment ideas for me if I do end up missing a video. So today we'll be talking about the gear I have and that I use in this bedroom that you're currently looking into. I'll let you know some of the decisions that went into buying some of the gear I have, and hopefully, if you're looking at getting into recording yourself, seeing some of what I have will help inspire you and help make some of your decision making easier too. Now, not all of the decisions I've made are completely optimal for a bedroom studio, and I had hoped that by now I would be in a dedicated recording space rather than still in my bedroom. So some of the things I have at the moment are a little bit overkill for what I need right now, but we'll discuss that as and when we get to it. Firstly, the most important thing for making music is a computer. I have an M1 Ultra Mac Studio. I bought this a couple of years ago when I finished uni, and it's been my workhorse pretty much the entire time since. I pretty much exclusively run Pro Tools on here for my music making, as that's what we were taught at uni, and in my head the workflow just makes the most sense. Honestly, any Apple Silicon Mac is going to do more than enough for music making these days. Apple seemed to go above and beyond when they designed their own hardware. If you can get a second-hand Mac on the cheap, anything other than a MacBook Neo is going to do more than enough for you to be able to do music fairly comfortably. Plugged into the Mac is a Focusrite 18i8. Before I had this, I just had a Scarlett Solo, which I still have plugged into my gaming PC so I can use a proper mic and headphones on that as well. With that, I could just record one mic and one guitar at a time, which was more than enough for what I needed for just recording those shitty little guitar covers in my kitchen donkeys years ago. But when I wanted to start taking music production a bit more seriously, I did start to notice the shortcomings of such limited I/O. I upgraded to the 18i8 as a way of future-proofing myself and having all of the inputs I'd ever need. Typically, at the moment, I'll only ever use 2 inputs at a time at most, and that's if I'm recording an acoustic guitar. But hopefully once I move and I'm able to build a dedicated studio space, I'll be able to keep everything set up and ready to go all the time, no matter what. Plus, if I'm recording a whole band, I can have everything ready to go and record everyone all at once if that's what they want to do. In order to make full use of the inputs on the 18i8, I also have an Octo Pre. At the moment, it pretty much never gets used, and the only thing I actually plug into it is my DI box, just so that it gets turned on and used every once in a while. Once I have a dedicated studio space, this will pretty much just be for my drum kit, so I can have that always plugged in and all the levels set roughly ready to go. Plugged into the interface are my Yamaha HS8s. Again, these are absolutely overkill for the situation I'm currently in, and honestly the room I'm in at the moment does make them sound worse. Again though, it's future-proofing for when I do have a bigger dedicated studio space, and these will be perfect for a proper dedicated mixing room. I use Sound ID room correction software, and the EQ on these is just absolutely wild. If I'd known like 5 years ago when I got these that I would still be in this exact same bedroom, I probably would have gone for something smaller like the HS5s, as they are designed for smaller rooms. Typically for mixing, I'll actually use a pair of headphones at the moment. I use the Sennheiser HD490 Pro headphones. They're some of the flattest headphones I found, which makes getting a good mix easy, and they're also super comfortable to wear for long mixing sessions. They're open-backed too, which means I get a lot less ear fatigue from using them, which is always a massive plus. For recording, I wear a pair of Rode NTH100 headphones. These are the most comfortable headphones I've found, which makes long recording sessions a lot easier. Plus, they sound really good, so I always get a good idea of how what I'm recording is going to sound. There are 2 more things left on my desk to talk about. The first, which I've already mentioned, is a DI box. This is a Clark Technic Active DI box. It runs off a 9-volt battery in the back. Typically, I'll just record into this and record the DI on its own, and it being an active DI box means the levels are always a lot nicer coming into Pro Tools. Then, if I want to record a real amp, I have the Radial X Amp Preamper. This has a line out from the back of my interface and allows me to send my recorded guitar tracks over to a real amp. Or I can take something else like vocals or a piano part and then send them to an amp as well, just for fun and to mix things up a bit. There are a million reasons why you might think this is a good idea, but for me personally, the main reason to do it is simply my comfort. My bedroom gets super warm at the best of times. Right now, with everything switched off and the window cracked open, it is 28 degrees in my room, and it's only 19 degrees outside. If I recorded the amp at the same time I recorded the guitar, I could easily be trapped in this room for over an hour, as the room crept above 35 degrees and over 70% humidity too. It would be like trying to do my work in a sauna. By recording all the guitars first and then reamping them after, I've only got to shut everything off for like maybe 10 minutes, and that is a lot more tolerable. Now, there are two amps that I try to record. The first, and my main one, is my Orange Crush Bass 100. This is my go-to workhorse. I originally bought it when my band Fruit Punch was gigging on the regular, and my god does it sound good live. If you want to know more about Fruit Punch, we can talk about them more in the future. For gigging, this amp is great as it has an XLR out for DI, and that makes the sound guy's job a lot easier. And the best advice I can give you for gigging is do anything you can to make the sound guy's job easier, because he'll like you and he'll make you sound better for it. This amp just had the right sound for our band, and personally, I love British distortion, so yeah. The other amp I have is a Boss Katana Mark II. It's an ideal size for recording in this room, and with all the modelling it has built in, I can get pretty much anything I want out of it. If you're looking at getting a versatile amp for your own recording setup, I would absolutely recommend getting something from the Katana series. The modelling software is super easy to use, and if you're not super happy with making your own profiles, then you can just download the patches off the internet as well, as loads of people upload their own. Just be careful of the volume when you do download a patch online, because none of the volumes are normalised. Linking back to Fruit Punch, our guitarist Sam used a Katana amp head for all of our Fruit Punch gigs. Rather than having a whole pedal board and having to change everything, he just used a foot switch on the amp to change through the patches. Now, obviously, the amps aren't going to record themselves. I know technically the Orange could, but To record it, I have an AKG D112, an egg. Sounds great, looks great, can't complain. This has pretty much always been my favourite mic for recording anything low end. So when the time came to buy my own bass mic, of course this is what I went for. But really, any kick mic will do for a bass amp. For recording the Katana or an acoustic or basically anything else, I do have a couple of options. The first is a pair of Rode M5 pencil mics. They are small diaphragm condenser mics and work on basically anything you point them at. Typically I'll use these to record an acoustic or mic up an amp on a track where that's not the focal point of the song. If I'm recording something that is the main focus of the song, then I have a pair of Sontronics STC3Xs. I've already spoken about them in episode 6 of Producer Diaries when I talk about how I recorded an acoustic track here in my bedroom. I have a pair of them that I will record literally anything other than my bass amp with. All of my vocals, acoustics, amps, and pretty much anything else that I record in this room, I record typically on those. I love these as they have different options for the polar pattern when you're recording. Back in episode 6, they were both set to a figure 8 pattern, so I could get a Blumline recording. Way back in episode 1, they were set to cardioid and I used the ORTF style of recording, which is basically meant to replicate your ears if you were sat in front of me listening to me play guitar. And obviously when I'm recording vocals, they'll be set to cardioid too. When I'm recording vocals, I use the Studio Spares IsoCube, which is absolutely necessary in this room as I have no sound treatment whatsoever. If you want to be recording on the regular, something like this is the cheapest way you can ensure your recordings are nice and clean. If you have some spare mic stands and a room that isn't going to cook you, you could drape a blanket or your duvet over your head and over the microphone to keep everything isolated. That's all my recording equipment there. There's probably a lot of information that I've just completely flown past, so if you've got any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below and I will get back to you as soon as I can. While you're down there, why not hit the like and subscribe buttons so you don't miss out on the new episodes of Producer Diaries coming out each Monday. I'll see you next week for another episode where hopefully we'll be making some more music. But honestly, I'm not too sure what we'll be doing yet. So yeah, I'll see you there. Goodbye.